Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Jaswinder Singh, and I'm assistant professor and taking care of the laboratory of proteomics and metabolomics. The topic today given was a unique topic. So the portfolio is: what are the tests that are running in the lab? Is there any clinical application of the test? What are the kind of samples that we can analyze? What is the turnaround time? And most importantly, what is the cost per sample? So dealing with proteomics and metabolomics, I deal with the most expensive test of the laboratories. So it is important that everybody should know what is the turnaround time and what is the cost per sample. to uh, to start with, I would be telling you about proteomics. Proteomics is generally analysis of all the protein in a sample type. For example, if we have blood or plasma, we can analyze 30,000 proteins in the plasma and give you the expression status of 30,000 proteins. It contains, I will be talking about global proteomics. What are the post-translational modifications that we can capture? We can do targeted analysis. For example, you have any pathway and you want to see the expression of only that pathway, we can do analysis for them, and we can make a 10 to 15 minute test for which is a mass spectrometry based test, by which you can easily capture those analysis and do in hundreds of samples. We are also able to do metabolomics, where we are able to do untargeted metabolomics of thousands of metabolite present in your plasma or liver tissue samples or any kind of tissue samples. We are able to do targeted metabolomics, for example, bile acid profile, energy metabolite profile. You can have expression analysis for them. We have established recently a new protocol for metagenomics by using mass spectrometry. This is called as metaproteomics. So we do metagenomics by identifying the bacterial peptide present in your plasma or tissue samples. So these bacterial peptides can also give you the knowledge of what is the genome type and what kind of bacteria are present in people. We are well equipped to do lipidomics analysis, including targeted and untargeted. There are some few tests which we have established by publishing some papers. For example, person transferrin saturation, intracellular labile iron pool, which is a very interesting test. Molecular elasticity and the determination of severity. For I would be briefing it. It is a very cheap and it requires nothing. And albumin modification, which is the forte of our lab. So proteomics, as I told everybody, proteomics is a branch of biology, basically biochemistry, which deals with analysis of proteins. So in global proteins, if we have different type of cells, biofluid or tissues, we isolate proteins from these from these samples and then subject them to digestion by trypsin. By digesting trypsin is a sequential peptidase which will digest the proteins in a known amino acid, which is arginine and lysine. So we will have the sequence known. So at the N terminal or the C terminal, there would be arginine or lysine present in the peptide. This would be analyzed on the mass spectrometry, and then we can identify what is the type of protein, what is the quantitation of protein, what is the sequence of protein, which could be back mapped to the genomics as well. We are able to do all the bioinformatic analysis associated to proteins. So what are the clinical application? We can identify novel biomarkers, determination of altered signaling pathway, and identification of drug targets if you want. What are the samples which we can use? Biofluid of any type, tissue samples. The turnaround time is the sample preparation will take 1 day, and then we have to have 3 hours of analysis on the HRMS. HRMS means high resolution mass spectrometry. Per sample, 3 hours analysis on an HRMS. What is the cost? Now the cost, if you collaborate, it's 7,000. If you do not collaborate, so it's 10,000 per sample on chemistry. And for specialized bioinformatic analysis, the price is negotiable. So let's go to the post-translational analysis. There are many post-translational analysis. For example, glycosylation of protein, phosphorylation of a protein, or acetylation particularly. So we can do the identification of acetylation, phosphorylation, glycosylation of the protein. So this is the complex, the post-translational modification forte, where you can see methylation, phosphorylation, acetylation, glycosylation are important. We can very well do this in our laboratory. So the clinical application is phosphorylation, activation and deactivation of signaling pathway. all the receptor tyrosine kinases works through phosphorylation. So if you know the phosphorylation status of the receptor, you may tell whether the signaling pathway is going forward or it is stopped. The acetylation, chromatin remodeling, and epigenetic alterations are done by acetylation, deacetylation. So if you know the acetylation status of a protein, you can tell whether the genes which are under the regulation of those proteins would be translating. Glycosylation is a very important step where it will help to stabilize the protein. The half-life of a protein depends on the glycosylation of pattern of the protein. So you can determine that which proteins have higher half-life compared to those which have lower half-life. Again, the sample types is biofluid of any type and tissue samples. The turnaround time for sample analysis is preparation 1 day and 3 hours per sample on an HRMS system. Similar, the cost is again the same. So this work will be repeated more often. Now, targeted validation of protein. For example, you have this is the the diagram where if you have a disease and a control, you deplete the protein, you identify different peptides in the protein. Now, based on the identification of peptide, if you have characterized a particular protein and if you want a 10-minute test for that protein, we are able to do that. So we do this by parallel reaction monitoring. So we will give the mass spectrometer a specific mass signature by which from the sample it will only pick your protein of interest and give us quantitation of only that protein. This will require only 10 minutes per sample. So if you want, like for ELISA, you may have you for a protein where you do not have ELISA, but you want the quantitation of that protein, we can do it for you. So the clinical application is you could replace ELISA. It is more sensitive and cost effective. The sample type is biofluid or tissue of any type. Turnaround time is again, this is repeated. And the cost per 100 sample is 20K, and on collaboration it is 25K. So the MRM, we can develop and provide cost-effective tests for any protein of interest you like. The best part is it's more sensitive and selective. Time of standardization is 1 day, and sample per day you can go up to 200 sample per day of analysis. The minimum 100 sample it will cost around 20K. So this is for the protein part. We are very specialized for metabolomics part. So untargeted metabolomics, we can identify thousands of metabolites. The best part is we have the library which can aid you to identify specific metabolites. So what we do is we extract metabolites by organic solvent extraction and identify them on the mass spectrometer. We can use any type of blood or tissue samples for extracting of metabolites, and then after extracting we can do the bioinformatic analysis for the metabolites. This can also be used for novel biomarker analysis, determination of altered metabolic pathway, and the sample type again is biofluid and tissue of any types. The turnaround time is 1 day for preparation and 25 minutes of run on an HRMS. So per sample you will have only 25 minutes that would be required. The cost is 7,000 for a collaboration and 10,000 if you do not want to collaborate. The specialized bioinformatic application, because it depends on the question that you ask, is actually on request and negotiable. So we have targeted targeted metabolome analysis where we can do bile acid profile. We have up till now standardized 19 bile acid quantitation which we have done in multiple samples. So these are the 19 bile acids which we have standardized and their quantitation. So it can be used for assessing the bile acid in liver failure. It can be used.
Can you enlarge the names of bile acids?
Okay,
is it possible?
Yes, sir.
What are the types of bile acids?
So I'll read it. It's glycocholic acid, hydrodeoxycholic acid, glycoursodeoxycholic, glycodeoxycholic acid, taurochinodeoxycholic acid, glycolithocholic acid, taurodeoxycholic acid, taurocholic acid, glycochinodeoxycholic acid or 3-glucuronide, taurodeoxycholic acid, deoxycholic acid, cholic acid, lithocholic acid, chinodeoxycholic acid, ursodeoxycholic acid, glycodehydroxycholic acid, taurolithocholic acid, dehydrocholic acid, and taurodehydrocholic acid. So these are different type of bile acids which we can do quantitations for using mass spectrometry analysis. The biofluid is, we have tried to do it in the plasma, even in the bile and even the tissue sample, so we can do it in every sample. and the preparation time is 1 day and 25 minutes of analysis on an HRMS. The cost is very, very low, 5,000 per sample on collaboration, and if you do not want to collaborate, it goes very, very high. So, specialized bioinformatic analysis on request. So, metaproteomics, just to brief everybody, for proteomics and metabolomics, our laboratory protocols are now under review in Cell Press Journal, and it would be published soon. So we would have the only protocol, our protocol, which would be published by a Cell Press Journal soon. So you can rely on our work, absolutely. So we have now established metaproteomics. So what we do is, we can take, for example, a tissue of interest. You want to see what are the bacteria which are present there. So genomics could be one of the analysis forte, but you can use proteomics, or you can identify bacterial peptides. These bacterial peptides would be then matched back to the genome, and we can identify from this that what phylum, what order, family of the bacteria that exists. So for this, what we do is that the trypsin peptide is that back map to a specifically enzyme database for a bacteria which is present, and this is very well standardized in the lab, done multiple times. So it is an alternate to metagenome analysis. The best part is, for if you do 16S analysis, you need to do pie-crust analysis for functional aspect. Here you will get a functional aspect which is quantitative. So biofluid of any type and tissue of any type you can do. The turnaround time is 1 day for preparation and 3 hours per sample run on an HRMS. The cost is 7K per sample and 10K on commercial analysis. The specialized bioinformatic analysis is on request. So we are able to do lipidomic analysis as well.
Give the example of neutrophil.
Yeah. So this is one work which we are preparing, that we did for the first time. I should say that we analyzed. We found that in the neutrophil there are bacterial peptides that exist, and in neutrophil of sepsis there were more than 500 bacterial peptides for pseudomonas. So you can say that the neutrophils are harvesting pseudomonas or having pseudomonas. Maybe that is the reason for them to not work. So we have the neutrophil whole metagenome type available with us, and like this we have done macrophages, we have done blood, we have done extracellular vesicles. So we have lots of data which is coming up, and very exciting data which are coming up in the laboratory. So we have done lipidomics, which is very difficult, but we have tried our best. We can identify 35 classes, which is greater than 7,000 lipid species, which we can identify. What we require is any kind of tissue, blood samples, or anything we can do organic extraction and mass spectrometry analysis. The clinical application is you can identify lipid species specific novel biomarkers. You can have altered lipid as a drug target. So biofluid of any type you can do, and the turnaround time is 1 day and 30 minutes per sample on the HRMS. So if you have 100 sample, you can calculate that how much time it will require. The cost of sample is 7,000 per sample on collaboration and 10,000 on commercial analysis. We can do targeted lipidomics. For example, if you want phosphatidylserine, only phosphatidylserine and its specific species to be analyzed, we can do that. For example, if anybody wants sphingosine 1-phosphate and associated factors, we can do that. We can do phosphatidylethylamine, phosphatidylcholine, monoglyceride, diglyceride, triglycerides, anything you want, you can tell us, we can do for you. So what requires is biofluid and any type of tissue samples. The turnaround time is again 1 day, and the sample on the mass spectrometry it is 30 minutes per sample on the HRMS system. The cost is similar, 7,000 per sample on collaboration and 10,000 on commercial analysis. Apart from this high omics analysis, we have certain publication where we have standardized and stabilized some important tests. For example, percent saturation. So the iron present in the sample and transferrin present in the sample, based on this formula, total iron divided by total transferrin into 3.982 gives us percent transferrin saturation. This can be done very well in our lab. This has been published in our paper, and it is a reliable marker of iron overload and multi-organ failure. And for this we need biofluid of any type, and sample preparation and analysis is 4 hours per 96 samples. Cost is 30,000 per 96 samples. So this is the very important analysis of our lab, where we can identify for you the intracellular labile iron pool. You by the time you determine that the plasma iron content is high, the macrophage iron level itself determines the amount of inflammation that is driven by the iron in the macrophages. So we can determine for you that in an early stage whether the patient has a predisposition for multi-organ failure or not by analyzing macrophage iron content. So for this we have a published protocol, and we can say this a reliable marker for iron overload and multi-organ failure. We need cells, for example PBMC, and if you want to do tissues, we can do LILs for them. And sample preparation is again 4 hours for 40 samples, and 20K for 40 samples is the thing. We have a patent for this. We have applied for this patent for this. This is molecular ellipticity. It requires nothing, only 5.5 ml of your sample, and this we identify. So to give you a basic, what is it? It is that the albumin and bilirubin. Bilirubin is basically optically inactive, but when it binds to albumin, it becomes optically active. And by using a circular dichromism spectroscopy, we can determine the albumin bilirubin binding, which would be, as the lower the albumin, the higher the bilirubin, the more the binding would be. And we found it that the circular dichromism spectroscopy was able to differentiate those patients which had higher mortality compared to which were having lower mortality. So we have a cutoff of 1.5 MEDG. So by just one sample of you, we can predict whether this patient will die early or it has it has some time. So the sample is biofluid. The turnaround time of the sample is 4 hours for 96 samples. The cost is very small, 10K per 96 samples. So the best part of our work is albumin modification, characterization and quantitation. We are able to identify different modification in albumin, not only HNA1, HNA2, HMA, but in HNA1, HNA2, if you see in HMA, there are
First explain what is HMA, then HNA1, HNA2.
HMA is a mercaptoalbumin, which is a normal albumin. HNA1 is cystinylated, and HNA2 is basically non-reducible, sulfonylated albumin. So if it is sulfonylated, it cannot come back to normal state, but if it is cystinylated, it has a predisposition, it can come back to normal state. So by our analysis, we are able to identify different isoforms of HMA, which, for example, truncated HMA, or HMA with glycosylated, if there are 2 glycine added, if there are 3 glucose added. In HNA1, if the cysteine is there, if the cysteine is attached to glucose, if cysteine is attached to 2 glucose. And for sulfonylated, we have SO2H addition, SO3H, if there is a glucose modification in SO3H. So not only HMA, you will get a percentage profile of what HMA, HNA1 and HNA2 is, but you will also get its species specific. For example, what is the species distribution for HNA1? Isotopic species presence in the HNA1, HNA2, HMA. So this is the most important part of our work.
Show the figure and how they spectra. What is normal?
So normally this is
the lower down
albumin. This is Baxter albumin. So if you see, these are different types of albumin peaks which we can identify. This is the normal albumin peak.
What is x-axis? What is y-axis?
So this is relative intensity, and this is the molecular weight of the protein. So this peak which my cursor is showing you, this is the normal albumin peak. So if you have this is serum albumin. But if you have an HNA2, for example, the albumin which cannot be coming back to a normal state, this is this SO2H, and this is cystinylated albumin. So this is the cystinylated in severe alcoholic hepatitis, this is cystinylated in alcoholic cirrhosis, this is healthy control, and this is back. So you can see the amount of SO2H is very significantly high in compared to other groups, in Baxter albumin and other groups. So we can give you a profile of albumin, whether it is toxic or not. And based on our work from last 5 years, we have shown that HNA2 the capacity of activating neutrophils, which was published in hepatology. We show that HNA2, which was able to induce platelets, which were produced in hepatology communication. And there is another paper by Alcaris and group and Richard Moreau, which shows that HNA1 has a capability of activating leukocyte. So we now in our research laboratory are working on the capacity of HNA1 to induce T cell exhaustion, which we have very exciting data which is there. So
Why the HNA fraction cystinylated albumin is high? HNA1 is high, no, in backstrap.
Yes,
Why is it high?
Yes, ma'am. This can be possible because we are giving you the peak profile, but actually the quantitation of peak.
The question is very valid. 36% of the manufactured albumin is cystinylated. Normally in the human albumin is less than 10 or 12%. But when you get the albumin from other sources, 36% of the albumin can have.
People have done that for different type of albumins. What is the percentage of HNA1, HNA2, HMA they have done? So
HNA1 is something which is there. HNA1 fraction,
yes,
one fraction is there, and HNA2, if it is there, that has to be again seen.
yes, ma'am. But one very important thing is, which we are trying to develop is, we have a thiol compound which we are trying to now bind it with HNA1. We suspect, the experiments are running in the laboratory, we suspect that HNA1, which is very harmful and can be reversible, but the amount can go to any limit. So if we bind it to a thiol compound, then the HNA would be stabilizing. So this is what we are trying to do. But let the result come, so we will definitely come to you. So we can do it in biofluids for you. The sample preparation is 1 hour for sample preparation and 30 minutes on the per sample on the mass spectrometry. The price is 7K on collaboration and 10K on commercial analysis. The bioinformatic analysis is different. Just to conclude, we are able to do, as me and Dr. Shwetang, we are able to do all the bioinformatic analysis that are required for you, depending on the questions that you raise. So, thank you so much.